I was thinking about, there's an American song, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. It's an American marching song. It's a military song. We will fight our country's battles. I think that might even be the song of the Marines. I'd have to check. And I was thinking, shores of Tripoli. Well, that's Libya. What were the American Marines doing in Tripoli, Libya? They were fighting pirates, weren't they?
Yeah, and those pirates were avowedly jihadis. I've got the communique of John Adams and Thomas Jefferson when they met with the emissary of those pirates, who were actually, they were agents of the government in Morocco at the time, and they had an ambassador in London. And John Adams and Thomas Jefferson actually met with this ambassador in London, and he told them, and they reported back to the U.S. Congress, that he told them, we are commanded in the Quran to fight against infidels and to capture them, kill them, enslave them, convert them, and this is what we're doing. And so this was the first jihad that the United States fought against. It wasn't 9/11. It was the wars against the so-called Barbary pirates in the late 18th century and the very beginning of the 19th century.
That's incredible. It really goes back in history when Churchill fought. He fought in 5 different wars. He fought at the Battle of Khartoum, I think. I'm not sure if he was in that battle, but he fought in the Sudan. Was that a jihadist war against the West as well?
Yeah, a little bit before Churchill, there was in Khartoum a figure who was known as the Mahdi, which is the savior figure in Islam. He's going to come back at the end of the world and fighting the infidels. And many people, another thing that I show in the book, they have proclaimed themselves the Mahdi throughout history. And one of the most successful was this fellow in the Sudan in the 1880s. And the famous British general who was known as Chinese Gordon, because of his earlier heroic exploits in China, was actually sent to the Sudan to fight against this man and was killed there by him. And the Mahdi revolt was gaining incredible number of adherents in North Africa and spreading elsewhere, with Muslims actually believing that he was the Mahdi because he had beaten the mighty British Empire and killed Chinese Gordon. And then he died suddenly, and that took the wind out of the sails of the movement. But there have been these kinds of apocalyptic revivalist movements. ISIS is kind of akin to that throughout Islamic history. There was one known as the Karmatians way back in the 11th century. And they actually thought that the end of the world was imminent, and that thus the aspects of Islamic worship that we're familiar with were no longer applicable. And they actually raided Mecca and stole the black stone from the Kaaba that Muslims venerate and kiss when they make the pilgrimage to Mecca. And they only brought it back years later when they were ordered to by the caliph, and threw it into the Kaaba, broke it into 9 pieces. It's still, of course, in pieces today. And in any case, these kinds of revivalist, messianic, apocalyptic movements that have been extremely violent are also a running theme throughout Islamic history. And today, of course, we have Wahhabi Saudi Arabia that started with one of those founded by Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab in the 18th century. And we have ISIS and Al-Qaeda and groups like that. These are not a new thing in Islam. They go throughout history.
That's an excerpt from my daily TV show, The Ezra Levant Show. Normally it's behind a paywall, but I thought you'd like this video, so we put it on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to watch the daily show every day, including always 2 interviews a day, and I read my hate mail, just click on this screen and become a premium member.